Squint drinking a Diet Coke. St. Peter's in Rome. Walking up the steps to the Sistine Chapel. I frankly don't know exactly what this room is all about.
Is that David inside?
I'm not... Michelangelo's David's in Florence, though. But,
there are more than one David's.
yeah. Towards the Sistine Chapel. The frescoes.
Marble candelabras. Or it's just the marble candelabras.
Marble candelabras. Here's the gallery of tapestries.
Next to the sign over there. Yeah, it looks like it's relief, but I bet you it isn't.
Probably isn't. You're right. Probably isn't relief. These are not relief, though they certainly look that way. This is how they were painted. Or Squint said she thought they had a Wedgwood type relief look, but they're flat painted. Gallery of the Maps. Again, fantastic. Up here? Yeah. Still in the whole of the maps. The employees' park. This one. Get in it. This is the Raphael, one of the Raphael rooms of School of Athens. One of them is covered. This is the more famous one over there. The one that's covered, if I'm not mistaken. to find an exhibit of the Dead Sea Scrolls here in the Vatican.
Charlie Collins. Low focus.
This is the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is the view out one of the windows. We're walking towards the exit. The ramp stairway up to the Vatican Museum. Now we're going to head out to the St. Peter's Square. Close to that.
Hanggang Christmas.
The guards and the uniforms. We're probably now one of the most famous and photographed places in the world. St. Peter's Square in Rome.
In the Vatican.
Obviously.
Well, you're not in Rome. You're in Vatican City.
Oh, I'm sorry. St. Peter's in Rome. Wait.
This is the view from the front of St. Peter's Basilica.
Michelangelo's Pieta.
This is the dome in St. Peter's Basilica. Michelangelo did it. He built this, and he modeled it after the one that's in Florence, Firenze, that we'll see later in our trip. And the one in Firenze was done by, I think it was a man named Brunelleschi. And it was the first dome that was not supported. And Michelangelo just copied the design for here because he said he could not improve upon it. It's very tall up at the top, I understand. The sun's really streaming in. This place is huge. Coming into the center part where the altar is. And that's the entrance down there. The Pieta was back in that direction behind that wall. It's really amazing how large these statues are. If you take a look there, those people going near it, the statue's pretty big. Really beautiful. Now look who we found. Wave hello.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Where are you?
Italy.
Okay.
Wind tells me.
Okay. Here's the other side. It's an interesting sculpture. Here's a picture going down the center from the entrance. Okay. Pieta's back there. And there are domes. Can't see it from here, but there are domes inside each little section. Absolutely beautiful. What do you see?
This is the Victor Emmanuel statue at the Piazza Venezia.
We're right behind the Emmanuel monument. We're going up the hill Campidoglio. It's one of the 7 hills of Rome. This is the view going down from the other side of the hill. This, I think, is towards the Colosseum.
Toward.
These are the ruins. This arch right here is the Arch of Septimus Severus. And then behind is the Temple of Julius Caesar. Pretty old, so it looks kind of in ruin. A lot of these buildings were destroyed to use the stones to build other buildings later on. Okay, that's the building that Michelangelo designed. That's the back of it. And we walk down. That's the arch. And here's more of the ruins. This actually reminds me very much of Greece. Another arch in the background. And the Colosseum's back behind there, I think. That's where we're heading. Alright, those are the buildings, the ruins that I was filming before, and then over there you can see there's the Colosseum in the distance. So we're going to head over there now. We'll see what else there is to see along the way. Okay, just to give a little perspective, there's the Victor Emmanuel Monument, and then earlier we saw those ruins over there. And now here we are walking up towards the Colosseum.
Back. You're going to do down this street. Here's the Colosseum again. I'm really in Rome. Absolute. Mommy's buying a t-shirt. Maybe. There's some buggies around here too. There's the Arch of Constantine next to the Colosseum.
That's the arch that we saw earlier. Remember when we said there was an arch in the distance?
Can take a picture here.
The Colosseum of Rome.
Take the whole picture.
The Colosseum was used for gladiator races, and they used all these little structures to house the wild beasts and machinery that they needed to run the races. And then people sat in different stalls up around different areas. They built this in different stages. They kept on adding on more stories. As I said inside, this is built in different stages. These are, if I remember correctly, these are the Ionic columns. No, the Doric, I think. That's the Ionic, and up there are the Corinthians. Now, if my memory serves me right, that's the Trevi Fountain up ahead. There's still. And I think this is the way that we walked to it the last time we saw this. Over 20 years ago. Well, yes, this is it. This is Trevi Fountain. And I actually do remember this from the last time I was here. Whether or not I threw a coin in, I don't remember. They say if you throw a coin in, you will return. But because of all the coins, the rust has been ruining the fountain, so they really don't want people to do it anymore. I'm not sure what that's a statue of. Here's a view from the other side. Very crowded here. I think every tourist in Rome is here right now. Now walking from the Trevi Fountain over to the Pantheon, and this is Piazza Colonna. And there's a statue of who knows who at the top. I guess this is very typical of these squares in the middle. We've also have noticed that there's no such thing as a traffic light in Rome. People just cross whenever they want. Right behind the Piazza Colonna is this Egyptian obelisk. Here you can make out there's all the Egyptian writing on it, the hieroglyphics. We have no idea what this is. Just sitting in the middle of nowhere. We are now approaching the Pantheon. Oh, here it is. This is the Pantheon. It's the oldest Roman building that is still intact. It's in pretty decent shape considering how old it is. I think this dates back to Julius Caesar, doesn't it still? Yeah. Almost 2,000 years. Not bad. Artie would be proud. Well, the Egyptians must have had a pretty big influence here, because here's another Egyptian column. This one's right across the way from the Pantheon. And it says it was built in 1711. So it's actually not even all that old, comparatively speaking. It is right across the street from the Pantheon. Well, I guess the building is a bit worn. You can see that column's kind of eaten away on the side, and so is this one, and so are the ones on the other side. But I mean, what do you expect from a building this old? Quite elaborate carvings on the columns. And this is around the corner from the Pantheon. You hear some church in the background. There's very interesting architecture in this building. And here's another view of the Pantheon. Now here we are in Piazza Navona, and guess what we found? Another Egyptian obelisk. They seem to be all over. There's a big piazza here, filled with people, lots doing. Okay, we sat down in Piazza Navona. We're exhausted. It's after 7 o'clock at night, and we haven't slept all day. So it's like really 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Neither of us really slept that much on the plane. What's important about this piazza, plaza, is just that it's very typical. It's got the fountain in the middle. I guess that obelisk is very common. And it's just elegant in simplicity. What round it is.
I don't know if this will come out, but this is the Spanish Steps. Really is not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, do you see something? I'm not sure. Trying to focus manually. Could be better.
Lauren, we found the store for you. Look at all this Pink Panther stuff. Blazer, shirt, towel, everything. Look at this. Unfortunately, the store's closed because it's getting late, and we won't be here when it'll be open. I'm sure it's way out of our price range, but it's really cute, huh? We're on the Via Condotti, right up from the Spanish Steps. Oh, all those lights are not going to let me focus here, but that's what we just took a picture of before.
We just left the flea market. It's Sunday morning. We're heading back towards the hotel. There's a bridge on the Tiber. The trolley's in Rome. We haven't written on any. I don't think we will.
And this morning,
Keep talking.
the bus, I think, came down VNS. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a second.
We're trying to figure out where we are. She will.
Didn't we go and be able to trust Costa there?
We're waiting for the bus on Trastevere. our bus? We're in the station in Rome, ready to leave. Any minute now. We're heading towards Livorno. I believe that's the Leaning Tower of Pisa back there.
There's a Duomo next to it.
Yeah.
We keep on passing through these mountains and I miss the views. And we just went through that mountain there. The water's really beautiful. These look like beach clubs all along the water here. Okay, yeah. Actually, we just went through another mountain, which you really can't see. But when you think about saying before we went through another tunnel, this is really the start of the French Riviera, the Italian Riviera. We keep on going through these tunnels. This is Rapallo, because we really can't see too much, but this is supposed to be a very nice little town. I'll try and get some more of the photos. As we were coming in, we got some of the pictures. We're only about a half an hour. Okay, we're standing in the Piazza Ferrari, I think it's called. They say that this, the fountain looks like an oversized hubcap. I guess I can understand why. And then behind that, that's the Palazzo Ducale, the Ducal Palace, and we're going to be going there later for an affair. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can focus in. There's the sign that says Lily. I'm not sure what it says because it's in Italian, but the entire facade of this building is flat as can be. That is a painted surface. Pretty impressive. And this is just one of the big piazzas.
You want to look down the street?
And then here's the view looking down the street from the piazza, looking down the street of 20th December. There still. We're just going for a little walk before we go for our dinner meeting. And there's the Bristol Palace. Let me see if I can come a little further so you can see. It's a pretty wide street. It's one of the main streets, and it goes down the hill.
These are the side streets of Genoa.
This is the historical center. Most of the streets are as narrow as the street you see up ahead. I was walking this afternoon. It wasn't nearly as crowded. Some of the architecture is very pretty. I have a feeling that this also is just a painted surface, though. We're going to go out to one building that's definitely just a painted surface. Okay, we're now down at the harbor. I really can't point the camera there. Oh, I guess I can. It's pretty sunny. It's about, 6:30, I think, so the sun's starting to set. That's the aquarium. But there's all of Genoa, the city. And you can see it's really built into the hill. And there's a castle up there somewhere. Where is it? Over. I can't even tell through the viewfinder here, but I know somewhere's up there I saw a castle. And there we go, there's a castle. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to walk around again some more, not tomorrow, the day after, and see what I can find out. And then there are funiculars that will go up onto the mountain. There's another interesting looking building up there. Actually, I have a feeling the funicular I'm going to take will be going up to that mountain. We'll see. And then there's the historical center back in through that section. And there's another building over there that, again, is just a painted surface. And until you get up real close, it still looks like it's 3D. Incredible picture.
Where are we? What? We're at the Ducal Palace, and this is what we had for dinner. If you understand this, you're good.
But the best part is the room where we're eating.
I don't know if you can see this. All right, look at the room. Oh, I can't show Gwen, I'm sorry. Those Murano glass chandeliers.
I got a picture too. It's quite a room. Chandelier is quite gorgeous.
The city of the minute is Milan, believe it or not. Here we are, we're somewhere else. La Scala,
And it's closed.
and it's closed. So we are 0 for 2, but I don't think the church is closed. I hope not. We'll see.
And I read that there was an entire covered space. We just didn't walk that way, but we're coming into it now.
We're in the Piazza del Duomo. Victor Emmanuel. This Bergen.
Okay, we're walking up the steps to go to the top of the Duomo. We're cheap. We didn't take the elevator. All right, we're all out of breath. But we walked up to where the elevator would take us. Now I think there's even more steps to go to see a better view even. It's really pretty architecture. Very intricate. So much of this, gosh. Must have taken hundreds and hundreds of people ages to do this. Well, this is about as high as you can climb, I think. And we're going to be able to get a very good view from up here. There's Stu. Wait, hello, Stu. You're here? Okay. Probably one of those churches in the distance is where Da Vinci's Last Supper is. Unfortunately, it's closed for restoration. So we will be going there today. What intricate detail. Actually, this Duomo was built over about 400 years. It started in the 1400s or something, I think, and Napoleon finally finished it in the 1800s. And mixed in with all the old, there's plenty of new. There's a skyscraper. Not much taller than where we were standing, actually. Some more of the old buildings. Very pretty steeple. Imagine getting those statues up there. Incredible. Someone would, I guess, would have had to climb up unless it's all one piece. More people coming up. This is what we just walked. We're by the very, very top right now. And here's a picture of contrast. Obviously, the Duomo, very, very old. And even the building behind it, the building seems moderately old, not terribly old, but then it's got a new addition of another floor or two on the top that's obviously fairly new. There's the covered section that goes to La Scala, with that dome that we pictured before. Then, so if La Scala is somewhere is over there, train station must be way off in the distance. I'm not even sure how far we walked. We were walking for close to an hour, although we did make a few stops. It seemed pretty far. And all the people walking on the street. There's some very old buildings right through back in there. That might really even be where La Scala is, I'm not sure. But if you look, you see there's an awful lot of high-rises and a lot of construction going on. There's quite a few cranes up in the air. And off in the distance, you see all those really tall skyscrapers. Not as tall as New York, obviously, but fairly tall. We didn't see anything like that in Rome. There are all the people in the square. It's hard to see because of all the bars here. The birds, the pigeons, the people. The buildings in the background. Okay, we're on our way back down again. This is the sides of the church. It's all the intricate detail work. And we were just up there.
In front of the
And here's the side of the church. One of the streets leading into the piazza. All the tables set up for people to eat outside. Sign for Berghi in the distance. I think there's a sign. Actually, that's
Berghi. I took
right.
it to Berghi.
That's for the metro. There actually is a McDonald's around here too, actually. Well, we made it back down. We were all the way up there. Way over 100 steps. How you feeling, Stu?
Good.
Good.
I'm not in Manhasset.
Okay. We went in and we walked up inside that parapet, and that's where we walked over, where I took the last picture from. What a pretty stained glass. This dome is supported, unlike the Basilica in St. Peter's, or the Duomo in Florence that we haven't gotten to yet. These candelabras from the year around 1200s. Beautiful stained glass in the background. Here's the bottom of the candelabra. A lot of intricate carvings. There's a man here explaining it to his son, but I can't understand what he's saying. I think he said something about Santa Claus for that one. Oops. There we go. It's just one of the parts of the candelabra, one of the parts of the base. Here's the stained glass in the front of the church. It's supposed to be the biggest in the world. And I don't know if this is the one, but it does look pretty tall and pretty big. To give perspective, Stu, you want to get in the picture? There's Stu. So, I mean, it's pretty tall. So that's Stu's head, and there we go. Very intricate detail. Next to it there's another one there, and there's more back there. We'll try and get to it from the other side. And there's the center stained glass in the background. Look at how beautiful these marble floors are. They obviously don't get walked on, and they absolutely shine. By contrast, here's the same floors where everyone walks, and not nearly as nice. These floors are gorgeous.
Again, these are the stained glass windows. This is the crypt, I guess, of the famous de Medici family. I guess this is where they're buried, I would think. The mighty pillars of marble and the ceilings with intricate carvings. We're now standing at the very rear, ready to walk out. Apparently this could hold 40,000 people. Hard to believe, I guess it can. This is in Milan. It's what we saw before. I think this was built in 1867. I won't take Lynn's picture.
It's a walkway that connects the Duomo with the Scala. I guess they took existing buildings and they just connected them overhead.
When it's had to be 1867. Look how old the buildings are. Very fancy shops. Very pretty. It's somebody famous. I don't know who. That's Gwen briefly.
That's right here is what we walked through. It comes from the Duomo, the plaza in front of the Duomo, and you turn around and there's La Scala. This is the building across the street from La Scala. It's interesting the way they have it painted with people standing in the balconies. And there's La Scala. The statue across the way that we had pointed out before, it says Leonardo, so we're assuming it's Leonardo da Vinci. Unfortunately, as I said before, we're not getting to see the Last Supper because it's being restored. La Boheme is playing here now. And if you look at the prices, it's not cheap. Piazza della Scala in the corner with Via G. Verdi, Giuseppe Verdi. Alright, we're across from La Scala. That's the building that's actually across from La Scala. I think it's some kind of government building now. And here's another very old building, very ornate. And then right next to it is just something as modern as can be. These are some of the streets of Milan. Very pretty. A little more cosmopolitan than what we saw in Rome. Whether or not Rome existed like this, we don't know. Good mixture of the old and the new. Nice looking stores. This is where we're walking. Here we are on one of the main streets in Milan, and look at what there's a sign for. The grand opening of Blockbuster Video. This is the outside, just underneath in the train station in Milan. We're heading back. Everything's very grand.
But take a picture of all the signs. Here's all these signs.
To the train. Here we go.
On the train, we're heading into Genoa, Florence. I mean, from Milan. Always want to be on a train, that's what I tell them. That's what it looks like. This is a new one. There's Mommy's reflection. Oh.
This is what it was, this one.
Yeah. It's the WC sign.
like coming into Genoa now.
Friends checking out the train station. Just got off the Genoa.
Alright, we have left the train station back there, and you walk out, and what do you see but a statue of Christopher Columbus. It says La Patria. We're walking down Via Balbi from the Principe train station, and in all these alleyways, interesting architecture. This one at least is nice and big, so I have no idea what any of these buildings are, but all these buildings are pretty old. This is looking inside one of the courtyards. It's hard to really tell, it's very pretty. Some more of the architecture. Over there is the funicular. We'll do that tomorrow. I don't know where it goes to. It goes up to some kind of church. The other thing, look at how, let's see if I can get this picture over here. You see how tall the building is underneath that tunnel? Genoa is a city of tunnels. It's all built into the mountain. It's really very pretty walking here. Some of these streets are awfully narrow. Looks like someone decided they didn't want a window there, and instead they patched up where the window was and they put a sundial. Kind of interesting. Of course, it makes the building look off. So this is an hour off, I guess, for daylight savings time. The building looks funny though, missing the window, because the windows are all very regular. The rest staircases up into the mountains are very typical. This one actually isn't even all that. This is inside another alleyway. No idea if this building's of any importance, but it's pretty. Every nook and cranny has something different. Just one, look at the frescoes. This is the Bank of Italy and America. It's the entrance to it. So there's the bank back there, and then this is a little courtyard in front. I guess these must be the cars of the people who work here. I'm on my way to Stu's meeting. It's Wednesday. The other day when we finally saw the sign, we thought, great, we're here. You can barely see the sign from here, but it's raining. So I'm standing underneath the last cover that there is. It does say cancer in the elderly. Once you get inside, there's still like another 10-minute walk. It's really very inconvenient. And I wish it wasn't raining so hard, because who expected this? Here's a better view of the sign. Actually, the meeting is right by the water, but it's so awful out today that I doubt I'm going to get any kind of view. But like I said, I still have another 10-15 minute walk from here. At least when we saw this the other day, we knew that we were in the right place, because we had absolutely no idea where to go. View from down by the water. There's a few ships in the distance. There's a bigger tanker coming in. Genoa is actually quite a big port. We were at the inside part of the harbor the other day and we took some pictures. And as you can see, it's very gray and dismal today. Well, here's the next sign that we saw, so we knew that we were going in the right direction. I've already been walking inside the complex for a few minutes, and we still had to walk all the way down there. It's actually around the bend after that white building. That white building actually looks like an airplane hangar, but upstairs is where we had lunch the other day, and I guess we'll be there again today. See, I've walked around this building over here. This is a big round building. Also, it seems kind of empty inside. It's a big open shell, and I took the pictures the last time from the other side of this building. What a complex. It's supposed to be brand new, but frankly they look like old rundown buildings to me and to everyone else that we've spoken to. So here we go. Thank God I bought an umbrella. Just like in New York, every time it rains, I guess all these street vendors come out, and there were plenty of people selling umbrellas. They weren't cheap, but I went into the department store, and thank God they had one that was cheap. It actually is more like a child's umbrella, so that's okay. When you get home, the kids can share it. It's cheaper than buying lunch or taking a cab. Here's the view from where we ate our lunch. It actually is nicer than what I ever thought. We hadn't come up here before. We hadn't looked around. It's very pretty.
It's Wednesday. It's about 6:30. We're going to find a place to eat.
What we're looking at is the gate of the Porta Soprana. It was built on a 9th century wall, but the door was built in 1155 to 1157, and that goes into the historical center. And somewheres around here is Columbus's house, somewheres in the piazza, so we'll go further in and try and find it.
Some things are the same everywhere. Yeah. Bridges of Madison County. Stephen King. Same people are popular everywhere. We're not sure. We're going to go check it out now. Look.
Okay. This is the garden behind Christopher Columbus's house. There was a cloister in the 12th century that was part of the destroyed monastery of San Andrea. This house was Columbus's house. It was actually rebuilt during the 17th century on the ruins of a former building owned by Columbus's father.
The street numbering I don't figure out, but one is red, one is black, one's for businesses, one's for residents. I'm not sure. We haven't really used the numbers that much.
Open the bottles of Heineken stuff. Lorenzo Church. It was built in pieces, and it was kind of built lopsided. A bomb was dropped on this during the World War, and for some reason or other it never went off, so it's lodged in one of the walls. It's a typical black and white stripe. Looked just like the one in Athens, to be honest with you. Same plaza in front of it, the whole bit.
Uh-oh. We're walking along the streets. I'm sure the layout of these streets are 1,000 years old.
This is the San Matteo Church, but this whole Palazzo, this whole area, actually really more the area to the left, is actually this building to the left. Go to the building to the left, Daddy. This is the Palazzo.
Talk again.
Well, I don't know what you're showing.
The Madonnaettes.
Oh, those are the Madonnaettes. There's supposedly around 900 of them in the historical center. And then the building next to it, that's Palazzo Domenicaccio Doria. The Doria family lived in this area. It was outside the 9th century wall, but inside the 12th century wall. We'll sit down with the black and white, just like the church that we were just at.
This is the Piazza Ferrari, like the car. Even though Genoa's by the sea, it's really built into the mountain, sort of. Obviously, the back of the hotel. We're going to go out to eat now. Our room's on the 3rd floor, so it's up there somewhere. Right. So it's up there somewhere. Left the light on in our room, so I think that's it.
It's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Here's Stu. Hello, Stu. He's holding the bags. We're on our way to the train station. This is 20th September Street. And then here it is looking up in the other direction. And the hotel's past that arch. Wait a minute. And there's the arch. And off in the distance, I don't know if you can see it, there's the Ducal Palace. There's the Ducal Palace up there.
We're on our way from Genova to Pisa, then to Florence. The train just stopped at the station. I guess this is Portofino. Don't you think, Gwen?
Well, that's what it says. We'll take some pictures of the, when we get out of the train station.
Just now. me get lunch. A lot of tunnels. I have to stop the camera. We're going to the station.
We're at the train station, and we look over into the mountains, and there it is, the marble. It's not snow, it's marble. Amazing. Lots of marble in the station. I guess this is what's used to retire. We're looking towards the ocean actually here. There's a sign that said Marble and Granite of Italy.
A little delay getting into Pisa. So I just wanted you to know we didn't forget you. Okay. What?
Close to the Leaning Tower. Crossing the Arno.
We made it. I guess that's the church. And of course, what's the most important thing? Shopping for junk. The pub illustrator.
Here's the baptistry. And across from it's the Duomo. And behind it, you can't see from here, is Leaning Tower. And then this is the cemetery. Very warm out. Stu's eating the required gelati, the Norcello flavor, which is, I think, walnut. And there's the Leaning Tower. There's the Leaning Tower. Let's see. Can we make it straight? Sort of. This seems to be the place to take a pic.
We're going to be leaving in a few minutes.
A lot of tourists. This is tourist. This is a real tourist haven.
That was it. Dolphin safe tuna fish.
Santa Maria Novella Church. We're walking to the front Alitalia. We just went to the train station. Doing a lot of walking as usual. This is one of the main thoroughfares. Saddam Hussein's land. Obviously that's the Ponte Vecchio.
Well, isn't that the way it should be?
Alright, so we're really here. This is very crowded. I've heard more English in the last 10 minutes than I've had all week. Let's go back to the Queen Palace.
There's a passageway. You can see it goes all the way from the Pitti Palace. It goes across the river into the Uffizi Gallery.
It's from the Ponte Vecchio.
So there's the Ponte Vecchio again, and here's this passageway I was talking about. And continues all the way around and over. And that's what they used during the war to smuggle people in the resistance.
We've been walking along a lot of the little streets. Okay, the flea market here, I guess it's closing. This is busy around here, wow. I don't think anyone speaks Italian. I had pizza here. And so did she. This is a pig. I have no idea why I'm taking this picture, except this is what tourists do. We just walk through this leather flea market. Look. Palazzo Vecchio. This part of the passageway for the Uffizi Gallery. The statue of David replica. I'll show these videos to Mike so he can tell me what I'm looking at when I get home. To restore Perseus. This is the Uffizi courtyard here, Gwen? Who are these guys? We're in the Palazzo Vecchio. I assume these are frescoes. This is in the Palazzo Vecchio. They have these pictures of World War II with the destroyed bridges. And if you can see over there, in this picture, the Ponte Vecchio is the only bridge standing. 12th of August, 1944, total destruction. Just look at Palazzo Vecchio. It's a place Mike recommended for voir. Oh, there it is, there it is. It's the Palazzo Vecchio in the Piazza della Signoria.
Here's the Or San Michele Church, one of the other famous churches in the area. It does have some nice decorative work. Everything looks like it's being restored everywhere we turn. And then we're walking up towards the Duomo now. I'm not sure yet which building is which, and I'm feeling those doors over there might be the one Mike told us to see. And here are the doors. This is in front of the baptistry, right across from the cathedral. Each one depicts a different scene. Okay, so the church is actually fairly new. I think it was done in the 1800s. It used to be very plain, the facade.
This is the Duomo, the Cathedral of Florence. A lot of construction, repair work. And unfortunately, you cannot see the famous dome. Just a little bit. Very little.
Very slowly.
463 steps, no wait.
Here's a nice picture of the Duomo in this angle. The back is really fun. We just left the mainland and we're on our way to Venice. We're going down a, I don't know what you call it. Actually, these pictures are not going to come out well. There's Venice up ahead. Towers. Actually, that looks pretty. I don't know over there. It looks like a car park.
There can only be one place in the world with a picture like this.
Dix Hills.
Milan. No, it's Venice. We just hit the steps of the train station. And we're going to go to the synagogue now.
Over our first bridge in Venice. There's the Grand Canal there. And this is actually another fairly large canal. It leads to the Jewish ghetto. Here's looking out towards mainland, actually. Bring gelati. It's like it has freezer compartments. This boat right here. There are no trucks, no cars at all allowed. Everybody has to walk. It's definitely a Jewish area. There's a Chinese restaurant. How appetizing some of these fishes look. We can't even tell what they are.
It's octopus with black ink. What do you think?
That's octopus.
The black.
Some of these are cuttlefish. Who knows what any of this stuff is. This must be at Soto Portego, underneath entrance, something to the ghetto. Down. Definitely one of the Jewish synagogues. We're in front of one of the stores that has a lot of Jewish things in the around glass. These are paperweights. Definitely a Jewish section. If you look, a lot of the doors have mezuzahs on them. Everybody's laundry is hung over the water. Hope that it never falls in, right? We're on the bridge of the Jewish ghetto. We're in the courtyard of the original Jewish ghetto. It looks like it's all being restored. And this is the Lubavitch, prepare for the arrival of the Messiah. Sweet.
I think the Jews here who died in the First World War.
Did not help. No, the Jews helped, but not.
Second World War. This is the door of the active and the largest synagogue in Venice.
This is the Spanish church. This is one that's still mainly in existence. And the building on the other side of the square we just came out of, it's also being used, Leviathan or something. This wall over here, this back in the square in the ghetto, is a memorial to the Jews that died in the war. I guess that's the reason for the barbed wire up ahead. on top. This square, I guess that's the other gate. I think the yellow building and then the red building a little further down at the back parts of the synagogue. Now that's the direction of the train station. We're waiting for one of these vaporettos to take us to St. Mark's Square. And this is the Grand Canal. A lot of boats, no cars. We're at our first vaporetto spot, and that looks like one of the Baroque palaces. It's very easy to have waterfront property in Venice. This looks like the remains of the fish market. It's usually only in the morning, and it's after 12:30 already. Rialto Bridge. This one onto the Rialto Bridge.
This is the view down the Grand Canal. Rialto Bridge. That's a taxi. Someone's having a gondola ride. These are the boats at the docks. These houses. We're getting off the boat. We're heading to St. Mark's Square. Venezia. Oops, I was at Glen there, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're St. Mark's Square. We could be nowhere else. The bell tower. So many people, so many tourists. It's San Marco pigeons. Here's the another view.
side of St. Mark's Square, it's called the Piazzetta. Those are two granite columns erected in 1180. One is a figure of St. Theodore, one of the earlier patron saints of Venice, and the other is the winged lion of St. Mark. On the west side of the square is the old library. It's church dedicated to Evangelist Mark, whose remains are on the high altar. It was begun in the year 830 and rebuilt after a fire in 976. It has 500 ancient marble columns on the outside.
Just to the left of the church, opposite from the water, is this clock, which I remember from the last time we were here. It's obviously being restored. What the significance of everything is, I really don't remember. That looks like the zodiac. And there's the time. Here's just more of St. Mark's Square. It's pretty big. All the pigeons. People seem to really enjoy feeding them. And this is, I think, this is the baptistry, the bell tower. People can climb up, but we're going to pass on that. So there's the clock, and time did change. Here's the inside of the church. Very crowded. Behind St. Mark's Square, that's the back of the Doge's Palace, and there's that enclosed bridge is the Bridge of Sighs that was leading to the prison. We have all the gondolas going through. All right, we're now walking up from St. Mark's. We're going to walk towards the Rialto Bridge. This is very typical.
So there's a
And
taxi.
there's the Beck's Pier, there's the taxi, there's a gondola. The Beck's Pier must really get around. And of course the bridge in the background. We're on a bridge now. And over here is another place where I guess the boat can just park right inside the house.
That's how they make these brooches.
That's what I want to get.
No.
Stu's dream come true. Coffee and coffee bar. And we brought one pastry also. It's that chocolate. Wow. Alright. See these perfume bottles? I swear that's what I have on my dresser. I think Kathy gave it to me for my birthday. Here it is, about $25.
Not the Ponte Vecchio, the Rialto Bridge. You get confused sometimes. Very nice though, very nice day. Beautiful day. It's a good piece of chocolate.
Stu, I have every picture. Oh, they don't all have labels.
What will we buy? It's always the question when you travel. Shopping. The battery's gonna go.
Alright, some stuffing.
The Rialto Bridge. It's really pretty.
On top of the Ponte Vecchio. Just walking up the Rialto Bridge, we bought a lot. It looks very pretty. I don't know the name of this, but it looks pretty. We're just very close to the Rialto Bridge. But they are, they're cute.
We're on our way back from the Rialto Bridge. We got ourselves a little bit lost, we think, but hopefully we're getting there. It's just very pretty just walking around, and we do have...
What country are we in? Grocery store near the train station. I just thought this was interesting. You have salmon there. Look at those meats. Hanging.
Well, our day in Venice is drawing near. There's one of the Vaporettos in the background. Alright, this is where we came up this morning. This is that very first bridge that we went over. Say goodbye, Stu. First and last bridge. And we walked down here this time, coming back. There's some markets along the way. Well, this is it. Some more.
Joe, I gotta say goodbye to Yankee out here.
You're welcome, Andrea.
This is one of the first bridges you see when you get out of the station. Actually, it's the first bridge. Line 1 is the one that goes to St. Mark's. Up in all this junk.
The bridge. Stu is a little bit too tired. I left him by the steps of the train. There Stu is over there. I don't know if he sees me, but I see him. Well, there's Stu. I gotta find him now with the camera. There he is. I guess he decided to get up and look for me.
Is that time we're supposed to leave? What happens? We're leaving. What? The kids never on a train. I want to show one thing.
We're just going to go over the thing, so don't worry. I want you to get that. It's all there.
Well, we're in Venice. There it is. Santa Lucia Station. Is this the thing?
Do you want me to take it? There's Venice. If you look closely, you can see there are some other islands out there also. Not that Venice is one island. I have no idea. Some of these other islands are down by San Marco. Bye-bye, Venice. More islands.
Saturday morning, we're waiting to see Michelangelo's David. There's this huge long line. We're all nuts for standing here. The line goes all the way to the corner, wraps around the block behind me. That's crazy.
We're finally on the last block of our wait. Some of these houses look very pretty.
The slaves.
These are the unfinished slaves. This is what Michelangelo started carving, and you can just see the bodies trying to creep out of the stone. See, this is partially finished. It's Michelangelo's David. It's very crowded in here. Made out of Carrara stone. Remember, we passed the Carrara fields on the train. See this the stone being finished chiseled. Of course, I'm not sure where the head was going to go. Here's the back of David. And the legs are coming out. Here's David from the other side. What also makes this very fascinating is that this piece of stone had been worked on by two other sculptors, and they just decided not to use it. And Michelangelo came along and reused the same piece of stone and established himself as a noted sculptor. Here are the people. And it's huge. This is one of Michelangelo's original Pietas. This appears to be finished, but maybe it really isn't. I guess the fine points have not been done. There's another one. I think I took a picture of this before. This is the one that I wondered where the head would ever fit in. The bodies are just trying to break out of the statues, out of the pieces of rock. This shows how many things Michelangelo worked on at one time. This is actually in the beginning of the museum. This is a model of one of Michelangelo's work, the Rape of the Sabina. And the original is in one of the piazzas, which I'll get back to later. I'm coming back around to the David.
Plaster models of works by Pampaloni and Bartolini. It's just interesting to have it laid out.
Alright, we're almost at the Duomo. You can see on the top it's been sandblasted and cleaned, whereas at the bottom it's still getting pretty dirty. If you look closely, you can see the people who are already up there. They climbed all the way to the top. 463 steps, and we're not doing it. We've walked enough this trip. Remember, this was the dome by Brunelleschi. And you can't see it from inside because they're restoring it. And the outside of this building was done in the 1800s. It used to be a plain, very plain facility. Okay, here's the church from the front. Here's the main entrance. The bell tower next to it. You can also climb up. And the baptistry in front of it. With the doors. It actually goes on to famous doors that we pictured yesterday. Here's the Orsan Michel Church. It's the church on the first floor and a granary up above. This is the main street. Via Casualoli, or however it's pronounced, main shopping street. And what do you think we're going to find on it? We're going to find Foot Locker, and then a little further down is United Colors of Benetton. One of those signs there. A lot of American stores. That's back towards the... Okay, we are at Via del Proconsolo. We just came out of Via something. What was it? Alberghetti? Dante Alberghetti. And here's some kind of church that they're obviously restoring. And the road is all broken. Okay, here we are at Via Ghibellina. That's that church right across the way. And I described where Mike told me he lived. I think he might have lived right up in here. We'll ask him when we get home. We show him the movies, obviously. And here's the Bargello Museum here, which we're going to go into. And then that's the street down Via Ghibellina. Entrance to the Bargello Museum. There's a lot of statues. The open courtyard. Beautiful ceiling. The Bargello started being built in the 12th century, but the loge and the staircase are from the 14th century. This used to house prisoners. The courtyard is actually the prettiest part, they say. There was a sculptor still in the courtyard. It says Loggia. Oops. The Bargello building actually at one point was a prison. We have just entered the Bargello. This is Michelangelo's statues of the 15th century. This first one here is Bacchus. Oh, I guess this isn't Bacchus. It's just that they must have moved everything around since the notes that we have. Here we go. This is Bacchus, obviously with all the grapes. And he's drinking his wine. He's got his grapes back there. Bust of Brutus.
1540.
1540.
Bacchus was 1497, his first freestanding statue.
Here's another Bacchus, but it's by a different sculptor. Here's another Michelangelo's David. Here's Bandinelli's Adam and Eve. It's also quite large. Stu, you want to get in the picture for a second to show how large it is? Okay. It's fairly big.
He's holding the Caduceus of the Lord.
Bronze sculpture. Here's another bronze sculpture. This is by Cellini. Cosimo the First.
Cellini, 1557.
Back to this original statue. This is the Victory of Florence over Pisa. Here's a sculpture by Ghiberti, who is the man that did the sculptures for the baptistry doors. And right next to it is a work by Donatello, which I think says something about dancing. Danzante. D-A-N-Z-A-N-T-E. Done by Donatello in the early 1400s, I guess. Tutto Danzante. So there's one of your Ninja Turtles for you. Not really.
This is Donatello St. George, done in 1416. It was the first Renaissance relief carving to achieve perspective.
Here's Donatello's David. It's a little different.
First freestanding nude of the
This
Renaissance.
Donatello is what? Who?
This one.
Oh, this is the first freestanding nude of the Renaissance. This is bronze? I think it's bronze. Here's the view of Via Ghibellina. Again, I have a feeling this might be where Mike lives, so I'm taking lots of pictures. So you should see what it looks like. It's one of the rooms upstairs. It almost looks like maybe this was part of a church or something. I don't know. And up on the ceilings, all these frescoes that look like they've never been finished. You can see the stenciling, but it's not finished. Unless they're restoring it. But then it'd be covered up, I think. And outside, these ceilings appear to be finished, although obviously some restoration is taking place. They're very pretty. My only comment was that this was really for a prison. They're awfully pretty for a prison ceiling. In the next room over, the ceiling almost looks like it's not finished at all, or else it just needs to be restored. Not as colorful as the previous room. Yet another David. This one's by Verrocchio. This one shows Goliath's head. The Bargello was built around this bell tower. I guess that's what dates back to the 12th century. And here we are looking down into the courtyard. The staircase coming up. The entrance. The Peacock by Giambologna. It's actually very pretty. Also bronze. Here's, I guess, a bald eagle. I couldn't read what it was in Italian, and this is obviously an owl. Here's the view for the Proconsolo going down towards the Arno. Like I said before, the street's all broken up, so I can just stand right in the middle. And here is looking away from the Arno on the Proconsolo. Via del Proconsolo. One of these apartments must be Mike's. They look nice. This is the Piazza San Ferretis.
Yo.
Back of the Bargello. Here we are in the Piazza Signoria. It's a pretty oddly shaped piazza, but very big. Cafe that Mike told us to go to, but I don't know if we'll have a chance. Here's a copy of the David. This copy has not been here all that long. They commented at the museum this morning that the original was out subject to the elements for quite a long time. This is Neptune's fountain.
In reference to Cosimo's maritime victories.
This is the Loggia. This was built in 1376. There's many statues. Who are these statues by?
All right. The front, that's the Rape of the Sabines. We saw the bust, the thing in the Academia.
Right.
We saw the copy. That's the original. 1583. The lions flanking the stairs is the classical one, and the one on the left is the 16th century copy. Perseus is covered up, and then there's some others in the back.
Hercules fighting the centaur.
Giambologna, 1599.
Supposed to be the best variety in Florence. It's very good.
It's good. We just had lunch at the Trattoria di Benvenuto. Gwen had gnocchi and I had, what did I have?
Some pasta with eggplant.
Pasta with eggplant. It was
Or
good.
rigatoni.
Rigatoni. Or melanzane. And obviously that's the Ponevecchio.
Get a picture?
Yeah. We're working towards Santa Croce next. What is that? Some of Michelangelo. All right, whatever.
I think that's where you go to get the good.
Avanti. Out.
Okay, we are approaching the Piazza Santa Croce, and there's the church itself. Here's where Michelangelo is buried. Schiavelli. I don't know if they actually let people climb up there, but that's the way up to the top. And the ceiling is very pretty, very simple. Looks like they're restoring it in the center. Rossini. It seems like everyone's very, the stained glass windows are very pretty. This one's hard to read. It says Donatello. Lorenzo Ghiberti. Leonardo da Vinci. But not least is Galileo. Center of the church now. And on the two sides are organs. It's the largest organs in Italy.
The outside is the outside of Santa Croce. This is the Piazza Santa Croce. Via Ghibellini, we're a few blocks away from Santa Croce. As you can see, you're not getting in.
Sure it is. Yeah, that's the building. Choose.
Unfortunately, there's a police van in front. I'll ask Mike what that's all about. I'm sure they have their problems here. We're walking down the street and we passed the hospital. Santa Maria Nuova.
Santa Maria Nuova. Between Via San Egidio and Via Buffalino.
Those are the pictures of the telephones. Everyone has a card. It's like a debit card. And it's deducted. Public. For the motorcycles, the people, it's so crowded. It's very difficult. We're going to go in and buy some cups. Thing online looks like Disney World. Pigeons.
Waiting online to get into the Pizza Gallery, and there's Lorenzo the Magnificent. I don't know who that person is over there. The other statue is a Cosmo. Okay, we're finally in, and they said this is the way, the monumental stairway, and that it is. I'll be breathing heavy by the time I get up to the top. Well, that staircase certainly was monumental. Look at how tall, high up we are. But we're in the Uffizi Gallery. I find this just as interesting as the painting. Look at all this machinery they have hooked up. I don't know what they're trying to find. I guess the humidity or whatever. They've actually installed some kind of air conditioning, dehumidifying units, I guess, to try and protect everything. This painting actually was restored. It's from the 12th century, I think. We're in one of the first few rooms. This is Gothic painting from the 12th, 13th century. And if you notice, the sky is gold. And it's true of most Gothic paintings. However, this is the first Gothic painting that the sky was actually blue. This painting's from the 1400s, early 1400s. This is one of the first paintings to show perspective. Used to hang at the Medici Palace. These are the 6 virtues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's Botticelli's screen. This is his first public commission. This room is all Botticelli's. It's very interesting. The pictures that have been restored do not have glass in front of it, but those which have not been restored do still have glass. These are all Botticelli's works. And some more of the pictures. These are the pictures I showed before. I'm afraid to get too close to these pictures because of the reflection of the glass. And that one shows the virtues of the Primavera. and it's the Adoration of the Magi. But we think this might be, people don't know for sure. They think this is a self-portrait. Madonna the Magnificent, also by Botticelli. Somebody's guidebook says that this has Donatello painted himself into the picture, but I don't know which one or if it's true. This room contains some of Leonardo da Vinci's early works. This is his Adoration of the Magi. It's not very clear. I guess this one needs to be restored. The ceilings in the hallway are very pretty. Right now we're waiting to get into a room. They only allow 30 people in the room at a This must be the Venus statue they talk about. Some gallery, beautiful ceiling. All this mosaic work. Another view. This is the view out of the window. It's on the other side of the Arno, some of those buildings. And then in that direction, that's the Santa Croce Church.
It's a great idea.
I think that's Piazza Michelangelo who took the picture up before. There are pictures of Adam and Eve by some artists I've never heard of. And here Eve is eating the apple, and the artist is Cranach, C-R-A-N-A-C-H. From the 1500s. Near the ceiling in this room. All the ceilings have been beautiful. I think that's the Santa Croce Church, and across the way, I'm almost positive that's the Bargello. I'm guessing that's the San Lorenzo Church, but I have no idea. Here's some more beautiful ceilings. This obviously shows some kind of battles. I don't know what battles it would have been of. We've gone to all the rooms off this corridor, and now there's another corridor across the way that we have to go. There's a piazza. And that must be the Duomo in the background. Oh, you know, before I said the Bargello, but that actually looks like maybe that was the Palazzo Vecchio, not the Bargello. Shows what I know. We're going to go back down this other corridor. We've already done that corridor. And don't forget, there's the David copy. And I forget who the other one is, and all the people. Here's a view of the Arno, but now this will show what we tried to show the other day. The Pitti Palace is somewhere back there.
Wow.
There's the passageway over the Ponte Vecchio, and then the passageway that comes into the Uffizi Gallery or the Pitti Palace. No, the Uffizi Gallery, and that's the passageway that they used to smuggle people during the war. I'm not sure what that is in the distance. Maybe Mike will tell us when we get home. And the Pitti Palace must be back there. This is the only picture by Michelangelo that is in all of Florence, because he preferred sculpture, even though he painted the Sistine Chapel. And here we are sitting out on the bench outside of the Uffizi Gallery. Just remember, Uffizi means office. These were the office buildings of the Medici, I think it was. And they had lived in Pitti Palace, and they didn't have to walk outside, and that's why they built that original passageway that I showed that was used during the war.
Give me the thing.
Some show going on. I have a feeling they're leaving now. They actually almost look like Epcot. Before we went to the Uffizi, and that must have been where a lot of people came in. It's really too crowded to see anything. Want to go on the other side?
We just need the Ponte Vecchio. It's obviously getting dark with the prestige.
People actually live up there, I guess. In Ponte Vecchio.
No. Just walking some more. This is the bridge with the Four Seasons on it. The four statues. lights just got turned on.
In Florence waiting to take off. There goes the propeller. We're over an hour late. We're hoping to make the connection. And we've taken off, but I think downtown is in the other direction. We're going to be passing the Arno. I thought maybe we're landing in Rome. I don't see anything I recognize. We're in Rome getting ready to take off. Water's really blue. We're less than a half an hour out of New York. It doesn't look too promising to get too many good pictures. No, we can see land, but I have no idea what it is yet. That's Meadowbrook Parkway. There's the refinery. Roosevelt Raceway is down there. There we are. Roosevelt Raceway. The market's going strong. Look at all those cars. So that was MacArthur Airport that I saw before. There's the mall, Roosevelt Mall. So we did see MacArthur Airport before. I saw a single runway. Unless it was Republic. That's probably Belmont Raceway. North Shore Towers is in the distance. Yeah, I'm sure. Cross Island, Southern State, coming down into Bell Parkway. It's a city off in the distance. And here we go. We're gonna land.
now 3:35 p.m. local time.